Hallo allemaal, welkom op de 9e podcast van de Hoppestraat. De rest van de podcast gaat voornamelijk in het Engels zijn. Ik geef het gewoon al even mee, want we hebben een speciale gast, ook omwille van een specifiek onderwerp vandaag. Dus we gaan gewoon al direct naar het Engels switchen. Hello Owen.
Hi Jasper.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
You were disappointed that the
Well,
podcast
you
would be in
know,
English.
There's so few opportunities. Well, that's not true. There are many opportunities, or not enough opportunities, I get to speak in Dutch. I don't know if you know this. I used to do a weekly live beer review for Bruz, which for people who don't know is the local Dutch-speaking news radio station in Brussels. A little plug there. I don't do it anymore, but it was in Dutch and it was live, and it scared the bejesus out of me.
I can imagine.
But it did help me with my grammar and my vocabulary in Dutch. So
We can do the questions round maybe in Dutch and at the end.
well, it's your podcast, so I take your lead.
No, that's fine. We've done an episode in English before with Julie Wartel, and we also recorded in the exact same spot we're sitting now, because we are not at the Hoppestraat today. We are at Café de Welkom, which means there might be some bustling around, some rustling around, some people talking in the background. So apologies for that, but it's a Wednesday. It should be quiet. We'll see what happens.
It's very warm outside.
It's
so
also very warm.
we have
Yeah,
a
the
place
terrace
for
is,
ourselves.
well, not full now, but when I arrived it was full. So yes.
But this is sort of your stomping ground, no?
I work here every Sunday. I'm behind the bar. I won't be next week because, I'll be this week, but I won't be next week because I'm going to Sweden for a little vacation. We're going to talk maybe a bit about that as well. We'll see. But I'm mostly here on Sunday, and the rest of the week I'm often behind on the other side of the bar. It happens, yes.
Well, I will make an admission. I have not been here before.
You've not been at the Welcome. Have you been at Brouwbar that used to be here?
No.
That's allowed.
We might come on to the fact of my provincialism, verging on parochialism, and sticking around Brussels. I do get to Ghent sometimes because a mutual friend of ours, I'm sure, Brendan Carney, from Belgian Smack, he lives in Kortrijk, and Kortrijk is too far for me to go on a weeknight, and Brussels is too far for him to go, so usually the compromise is Ghent.
That's a good compromise.
But it's usually somewhere near the train station.
That makes sense, yeah. I haven't seen... it's also the last time I saw you was with the book release of Hidden Beers.
Yes.
Yes. It's been that long.
Oh.
Well, before we move on, I assume a lot of people have no clue who you are, so can you maybe give you a little introduction of who is Owen Walsh?
Yes, so my name is Owen Walsh. You might find that confusing if you see it written down. I've heard various iterations of how it's pronounced living in Belgium, as I have done since 2009. But it's Owen, it's an Irish name. I am Irish. English speakers will probably recognize the accent, even if it's not as strong as it used to be. I've been writing about beer since 2017 under the Brussels Beer City moniker, which has gone a little quiet in the last sort of 18 months because I've been working on other projects. But living in Brussels since 2009, writing about Brussels beer predominantly since 2017, but also branching out to write about other different beer cultures and activities.
We plugged you in a few podcasts already, I think, with your new zine. Benches.
Yes.
Yes.
I have a copy here for you.
Oh, wonderful.
One of the few, one of the 75 we published. So that is one of the reasons why the blog itself, beercity.brussels, has been quiet in 2025, is because we've been doing something in print. Because I love print.
Madness.
I love magazines. I subscribe to magazines all the time, never read them, but I like to touch them, and I'm sort of a bibliophile in that respect. And I have a good friend of mine who's an illustrator, Louise Selkies is her working name. She's worked for NECAP at the Irish Embassy and a bunch of other Irish organizations and groups. And we were having a drink one night and we said, you know, we both love print. I'm looking for a new project. You're looking for a new project. Let's do a zine together. And Pinches was a result of that. The essential idea behind Pinches is 5 short articles accompanied by Louise's illustrations about a specific location or theme on Brussels cafes. And the whole idea is just celebrating Brussels cafes, doing it in print.
They're amazing.
Brilliant illustrations.
I love Brussels cafes.
The words are all right. We've done 2 editions. We only ever do 1 print run, so unfortunately any listeners out there may be copies in Multitax in Brussels of volume 2, but other than that, I have about 5 copies in my bag, and they're the only ones left. We printed 75. Edition number 1, we printed 50. We sold out within 2 hours. Edition 2, we still haven't sold out. And edition 3, we're working on right now.
Okay. Any idea when that will be released?
That we're looking at a December release as
Okay,
usual.
still a bit.
The general publication schedule is we want to do two a year.
Okay.
3 a year maybe in the future
Mhm.
is possible, but 2 a year gives us summer winter. So
That's
it's
nice.
like the fashion season: spring, summer, autumn, winter.
Wonderful.
And
Shorts and pants.
exactly, and we tried to sort of mix it up between edition one, for example, was very hyper focused geographically. It was about my 5 favorite inner city Brussels bars within about 500 meters of the Bourse. Edition 2, because it came out in June, was about the best bars in parks. So terrasse, pavilion, whatever,
And
basically.
muettes and things like that, right? The muettes, like the little
Yeah,
pop-up bars.
yeah, exactly. A lot of pop-up bars open in the summer. That was a really difficult one to do because we finished writing it in April, which is not the summer, and can't get summer season in Brussels only starts the end of April. So it was a bit of a quick one to be done, but I'll show it to you later, off mic. And then edition number 3 is a slightly different shape. Then we're doing all of the bars of the Vosseplein. So Place de Bal for French speakers listening, probably the most iconic Volksbuurtplek in Brussels,
The
the
second-hand
place at the
market.
flea market,
And also Tintin, famous scene.
famously depicted both in Tintin the book and the Steven Spielberg film,
Exactly,
which is
yeah.
not very good. Louise and I took myself off on a Saturday to do. I didn't get everyone done in one go, and I'll probably do another one or two that were closed. Basically, just going to every bar and soaking up the vibe. It's a very peculiar place,
It's a wonderful area too,
but they do sell beer from like 6 a.m. in the morning.
yeah.
So I was in there. I didn't quite have my first beer at 6 because I felt embarrassed. But I was in my first cafe at 7, because what you have to remember is that the flea market guys are setting up from like 5 a.m. I used to live on the square,
Sure.
so I remember the rhythm. And they're done. Their work is done by 7, 8. So for those who drink alcohol, they're in the bars, early, and then some of the bars close by lunchtime. So I was in there. I didn't quite have a beer at 7, but I did have a beer at 7:30.
What do you know? Shall we get into the news?
Yes, that was a too long introduction.
No, it was a great introduction. Let's go. It's good that we have an Irishman here, because the first topic, as you saw, is definitely Irish inspired or Irish focused, and I'm so sorry that I'm putting this on you, but let's see how far we can go with this. Because everybody in my friend group immediately sent me a message about this. It's already been announced, I think, a year and a half
Yeah.
ago. It's been a while ago, but it's the first time we had a look at it. So we're talking about, of course, the Guinness TV show. Well, more specifically, the Netflix show.
Yeah, Guinness family show.
Yes.
I mean, that makes it sound like a sort of variety show, but it's like a historical drama about Guinness.
Yes.
Or the Guinness family. Yeah.
It is written and directed by Stephen Knight, famous for Peaky Blinders, which is a very good sign. I would
Never watched it.
say.
I know it stars the most famous man from the part of Ireland which I am from.
Cillian
Who
Murphy.
went to school just down the road, Cillian Murphy. Exactly.
Excuse me for my.
It's coming out next year, I guess.
Yes. The 25th of September. So no, it's still coming out this year.
Okay.
Yes,
Very
very
soon
soon,
then.
Yes.
I didn't
He-
read the press.
Stephen
release
Knight is
properly.
also the writer of the new Bond movie, which got just that news just got dropped also somewhere
Okay.
2 weeks ago. So he's apparently on a roll. It was already announced the 24th of March, so a while
Yeah.
ago. It'll have 8 episodes. There is a firm connected that also made the Oktoberfest Beer and Blood show.
I was wondering about that. Have you seen that?
I've seen, I think, 3 episodes, and then I gave up.
Okay.
And there are 6 in total, so
I will say, when you sent me the notes for today, and we were going to talk about this, I was like, if I was good in my research, I would watch the Oktoberfest Blood and Beer. Is that the name of? Is that the name of it?
Beer and Blood.
Beer and Blood.
In
That
that order.
makes more sense.
In that order.
But for my sins, I instead watched the new Alien TV show, which was better.
Okay.
I am curious as to where this is coming from.
Yes, can I take you to the premise?
Yeah, go for it.
The series is about the family behind the Guinness Brewing Company in the 19th century Ireland and New York, and consequences following the death of Benjamin Guinness, the man responsible for the extraordinary success of the Guinness brewery, and the fate of his 4 adult children, Arthur, Edward, Anne, and Ben. Now, let me take you through a little bit of history. Sorry, I've prepared it a little bit. So strap on. Benjamin is the son of Arthur Guinness II, who is the son of Arthur Guinness, the founder of Guinness Brewery in the late 18th century, which was originally a takeover of the 17th century St. James Gate Brewery. That means there are 3 Arthurs in this story, which is arguably too many. Now, side note, the original Arthur's grandfather is also named Owen.
Well, there you go.
There we go. It's all connected.
I will say they're a notoriously Protestant family, so presumably the name is spelled differently, but okay.
It is indeed spelled differently, correct. When Arthur died in 1803, it was his son Arthur II that took over and started exporting to England and Europe and started brewing the extra superior porter, which we now know better as the 4% to 5%-ish percentage extra stout original. It was before the First War a real stout, however, of 7%-ish, but to keep it affordable, as sales plummeted during and after the war, it lowered the percentage to what it is still today. Confusing, as it's clearly a porter again. Now, if you want to know more, good news. The next topic we're going to cover will probably tell you much more about that. It's coming up soon. And that's good because here's the thing. Now, I've checked all the books I currently have and all the stories that I've found about the history of Guinness and all of that are about Arthur and Arthur II.
Yeah.
The change from porter to stout, name-wise, and eventually then the famous marketing campaigns that are they known about, and also the Guinness Book of Records. What I didn't find in any of the books I've had, not that I have that many, but even then, was the mention of Benjamin Guinness
Right.
or his children. What I could find then, I did a bit of research then on the internet, is that they were all philanthropists and quite rich and had a lot of side hustles as well.
We can get into that, yeah.
So I haven't found any stories of it being dramatic, of it being problematic. So I assume they will just succession it, like it's gonna be like more of a succession kind of drama where they're trying to build a bit on that success.
Like, from what I read, so the story was going to revolve around the 2 brothers, Edward and
Arthur,
who inherited it
indeed.
together. Right, so just to give some background, I've been in Dublin a lot the last sort of 6 months because I was working on an article for Pellicle, which was not about Guinness, but you do anything in Dublin, throw a stone, you're going to hit something Guinness related.
It's not so
like
smart.
half of parts of the city would have been built by them, like worker housing, several of the public parks, the Guinness Brewery itself, which if you've ever been is huge. And
Enormous, yeah.
when you're getting the train in and out of Dublin from where I live, you pass by it all the time. And that's an interesting story, I think. Like, they are, as you said, big philanthropists, spending a lot of money, a lot involved in a lot of politics of the time.
And city development.
City development. That time in Irish history is really febrile. Most of Irish history is like that, but particularly the late 19th century is a very volatile period, coming out of some rebellions, usually failed, rural uprisings, that sort of thing, where the Guinnesses fit into that as a large ascendancy establishment Protestant family in a predominantly Catholic city.
Interesting.
They buy the goodwill of people by being philanthropists.
So what you're saying
So I can see some of that could feed into it.
Yeah, so what you're saying is that this actually might be that just Guinness is like, it's the way to reel people in a story that's more about the development of Dublin.
Yeah, I think as you intimated in what you said in the press marketing materials, like Guinness by the 1880s is, or by whenever this is set, is a big.
It's huge.
It's huge. I mean, all the work to get it there.
At that time, they must have been already the biggest brewery in Ireland for sure. And
well, I mean, this is what they always say about a Guinness, or people say that, is that it's an English brewery that accidentally got left behind after Irish independence. You know, and I know they had the brewery in London in the 20th century, but like the big market was England and the colonies. And at that point, you would have had a well-established network to, India, Caribbean, West Africa, So the brewery was there. What's interesting about those people is maybe, and that's why they don't pop up in the beer themed books, but they dominate huge amounts of Dublin history and experience. So
I'm currently a little bit more excited now.
Okay. What I am curious though is where this is coming from. Is it Netflix trying to ride the wave of Guinness hype that's going on?
That might be one thing.
Which might be one thing, because I haven't seen any like recent, let's say, biographies or anything like that of the Guinnesses. that would suggest that. I mean, they don't dominate Ireland anymore. Obviously, Guinness isn't owned by the family and hasn't been for a long time. But
The argue.
they do pop, their descendants do pop up in the news occasionally because they would have, like, it's a sort of like, you know, they have these wealthy families, they kind of revert to the mean. You know, the descendants of Arthur and Edward are less illustrious than they were, and their descendants are less illustrious. And now mostly they're like art collectors and own fancy houses,
Wow.
you know?
Let's go rest is entertainment for just a second longer. Take it to the cast, and this might also be one of the reasons I think why they're jumping on this, because there are a lot of young Irish actors and actresses that are popular currently.
Yeah, that's true.
And it might be that they were looking like, oh, okay, we need to do something with these people, and what's the story we could tag on that? Now, the main actor is English, however. That's a bit of shame. Here we
It
go.
does happen.
It does have Louis Partridge as Edward Guinness, which you might know from Enola Holmes. Anthony Boyle as Arthur Guinness. He's mostly famous for a role in Masters of the Air.
Okay,
Show.
the
He was also
Apple
in,
TV
he was also
show.
in Derry Girls. So there you go.
Okay.
Emily Farn as Farron, maybe I mispronounced it, as Anne Guinness. I didn't find a lot of her, but she was in the last Saturday Night movie about Saturday Night Live, which is
Oh,
phenomenal.
yeah. I haven't seen it.
It's magnificent. Watch it. It's absolutely magnificent.
Do you remember who she was playing?
She was like one of the side characters. It's a shame, but it's cool. And Fiona, she as Benjamin Guinness, who people might know the best from Normal People.
Right. Okay.
So it's a fun young cast. I
Yeah.
think that also will tie into that. Guinness is popular currently, so all of that might tie together.
Yeah. I mean, you go to Dublin now and there's Guinness. Well, there's two kinds of Guinness. There's the Guinness, the beer, and then there's the Guinness, the branding.
Certainly, of course.
I mean, you've ever flown through Dublin Airport, you'll see just like a wall of like Guinness merch and memorabilia, which really doesn't have that much to do with the beer at all.
Fair. And that's also true for a few other beer brands, I guess.
Yeah.
But Guinness, it's a big thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. The marketing is... The story of the marketing of Guinness is...
Probably more interesting than the beer itself.
well, hey, I like a Guinness once in a while.
I did drink a lot of it while I was there.
Yeah.
I mean, I will say, you know, support your locals, support your independents.
Certainly.
But when you're in Dublin, you do have to have one or two, you know.
I agree.
And Guinness 0% on tap is actually not that bad.
It's not that bad, no.
I mean, Guinness itself doesn't taste it very much, so.
Tastes like... I don't know. Just cold coffee and licorice, but I like that. I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
Shall we move on?
Yeah.
Because we have some more news about porters and stouts. Talked about it in the podcast a few weeks ago when Martin Cornell passed away, and I said in the podcast that we know that he already finished a book about the history of porters and stout, and it was already at the publisher. It now released.
Yeah, it was, I mean, I think he died maybe a week or two before the original publication.
Yes, and it
date.
got pushed
And then
back
I
a
think
little bit,
understand
and that
it's
kind of
really-
makes sense. I think there's also now like a little bit of a context probably printed there.
Yeah, I would have
Kind of
thought
makes
so.
sense, yeah. It's called the Porter and Stout: A Complete History. What we didn't know how complete it was. Now, he always said, even on Facebook, and when I met him also, he was already working. I said like, yes, but you can almost read the entire book already. It's on my blog, and it's going to be a resume of that.
Yeah.
Holy moly, it's a beast. It's 477 pages. It's almost A4 size, and it's a small print.
Yeah.
It's madness. It's also not so cheap, at least in Europe. The local bookshop here, I could order it for around 80 euros.
80 euros. Okay.
I
Yeah.
did see it on some online web shops cheaper than that, but again, support your local bookshops as well.
Exactly.
So let's not talk about that much more. I assume you haven't had it in your hands yet?
No,
Me neither.
it's a lot of money, and I mean, I met Martin. In real life, I met him once or twice, but I always read his blog, even if I didn't always agree with it. But I mean, when it came to Martin, it didn't really matter. He was right,
He mostly was right, yeah.
He
He's a good
mostly
historian,
is right.
I mean.
and we had some online beefs a couple of times, disagreements about things that absolutely were not about beer. He was very headstrong, as I think you need to be if you want to write a 400 and something page book on the history of Stout and Porter.
Absolutely. I'm gonna dive into it soon.
Yeah.
I'm
Did you order it?
Not yet, because I'm waiting for the next month.
Yeah, no, I get it.
I need a cash injection first. But yes, I'm definitely gonna order it. I'm looking forward to it. I read all his books now.
Yeah.
I just finished also 80 Beers Around the World, which
Okay.
is also magnificent.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward
I
to
mean,
this.
it's a real loss, like as a person, but as a beer historian as well. I think there's nobody there's nobody of the current generation of beer writers who is taking that approach to covering beer.
No.
And maybe it's not necessary anymore because the likes of Martin and Ron Pattinson have done it, but there are not a lot of archive fetishists among the current generation of beer writers, I think, because there's no money in it. You know, Martin did it because he loved it,
So
and he had that sort of obsessive mind where he could not do it. You know what I mean? But he could afford to do it too because he was retired. In the current generation, there's none of that really, and I do wonder, for the contemporary moment, how we're, you know, and this is maybe off topic a little bit, but
no, so
in the absence of people like Martin and Ron, eventually, God willing, he'll be around for as long as possible. Who's going to be doing that kind of work?
there are some very decent beer writers, even people that like to dig into history. But that obsessive and that complete as this is.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a different story. It's going to
Yeah.
probably also be a work of multiple people, whatever. Talking about publication, I'm not sure if you've heard about this. Now, this is completely off topic, but just goes to show that, yes, it's not looking great. There was an article, I think, released today about the secret of foam on Belgian beers.
Yeah, I saw that.
Saw that pass by.
I didn't read it. It was behind the paywall, so I was like, okay.
Yeah, I read it. I would definitely urge people to read it, but they compare it to two Polish Pilsners, which is a very strange scientific approach.
Okay,
Because
interesting.
apparently the scientist was stationed in Poland, so that was the only beers he could refer to. And the bottom line was that the Belgian beers had the best foam on their heads. This man has clearly never been in Czech Republic, but
I
that's
was just gonna say, but there's Belgian chauvinism when it comes to beer.
yeah. But that was the bottom line as well. Like, we should be more proud of our beers. Like, yeah, I agree with
I mean,
that,
has
but,
anybody been? I mean, that's been the government message since the last 10 years, isn't it? I mean, is there anybody out there saying we're too proud of our beers? I think quite the opposite. I think, you know, maybe there should be some self-reflection. But anyway, I look forward to hearing about the book secondhand because I'm not sure I'll be able to read it.
Okay, I will let you know. We go to another topic, which I actually was thinking, should we cover this? But again, one of those things that everybody texted me, like, yo, you should talk about it. Like, and then like, okay then. But let's keep it short. I'm pretty sure you heard about AB InBev closing down the production of the Belle-Vue
did.
Gueuze. We're actually drinking. We haven't.
I was
talked
just
about
going to
it.
say, I brought a topical beer so we can get into it.
Yeah, beautiful. So a beer that we talked about, I think, 2 podcasts ago, because there was some controversy around Tulkin. So we brought the Petit Gueuze, the Gueuze in can. A lot of controversy there already.
Yes.
Actually, I'm drinking it. I really haven't really.
You haven't been thinking about it. About
No,
drinking it. No, but
it's
that's
a
good.
very accessible
I mean,
beer.
it's an accessible beer. It's tart. It's a bit cheesy on the nose. It's perfectly drinkable. It's a tiny bit warm because it's been on the train with me for the last.
I don't
hour and a
mind. There's it's quite tart. Yeah, it's a bit like a nice little. It's a lot of berries and a lot of
But I-
rhubarb and.
I think it's interesting that we are talking about canned Gueuze when the originator of modern Gueuze is shutting down its Gueuze production. They're still going to make Kriek,
Yep.
which tells you all you need to know about their Kriek,
I have something to say about that as
I
well.
think. I'm curious, have you ever had Belle-Vue Gueuze?
Yeah, many times. In fact, I'm gonna tell you something now, and I'm gonna get a lot of suddenly people disappointed in me and haters. But I'm from the coast. I come from a city that has always been a bit of a desert if it's about beer. Austin was not really the place you would try anything special or modern, except maybe the Bier today when it was like the little beer festival that was going on. I loved Belle-Vue Gueuze. I used to work in the summer in a little summer retreat along the coast. It was mostly with pensioners. They had Belle-Vue Gueuze there on bottle. That was what I drank after my shift. I loved it. Had that tarty sweetness, and I really liked it. I'm not gonna claim that was my gateway into beer. I would even say it's the opposite. It probably is what kept me away from a lot of craft beer.
Yeah.
But I used to love it a lot. I had it not that long ago.
Okay.
Very, very accidentally. and it was just tasting the exact same. It was nothing wrong with it, but it was very sweet. You have that little
Tiny hint of
tiny hint of acidity there, and it was like, yeah, that's how it's remind me of my youth. But
Yeah.
I'm not sad about it going away at all.
No, I was surprised it was still going, to be honest. I will admit that I've never had the Gueuze. I've had various iterations of Creek. You don't really see even. I mean, it's funny you say that in Brussels, and the classic old school bars. I wouldn't actually have seen that
No.
much Gueuze Belle-Vue. You see Creek Belle-Vue, kind of. I mean, I was in Belle-Vue Cafe Belle-Vue not too long in Anderlecht, so the original, before it closed. It's been closed for a long time now.
Sure.
I was there in 2020 actually, like a week before COVID lockdown, and it's never reopened since. And I would have had. I'm pretty sure I had a Creek Belle-Vue then, but the Gueuze, yeah. I mean, they tried to do a sort of, they had their selection Creek there a few years ago, and I did have a bottle of that. I took it on a walking tour I did once, and people were like, "Why are you serving us this?" I'm like, "Well, because it's historically, it's important. If you need to understand the story I'm telling about the decline and fall of traditional Gueuze, and then obviously the story afterwards is the revival. This is why.
Yeah,
This is
story.
you can
Absolutely.
trace it to a single brewery.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So in that
that
sense,
whole-
yeah, I mean,
And the whole story of what's the name van de Stok?
Constant Van Stock,
Yeah.
and Anderlecht, and
If you
everything.
want to know more about Sophie van Rafheim, wrote an excellent piece about it as well, where she dives a bit more into that history as well. Patrick van der Spiegel, which you probably know, also commented this on the VRT, and he said, people that liked Gueuze didn't drink this, and people that didn't like Gueuze didn't drink this.
Yeah,
And I think he was right.
it's one of those legacy beers that AB InBev still make.
Yeah.
Like you've got like that, you've got Scotch CTS, you've got even Whitbread some places. These are legacy beers from the 70s and 80s.
Yeah, you could argue that Palm was going in that same direction, and then it got bought by Bavaria Swinkels, and they tried to rebrand that.
Yeah.
They did rebrand this a few years ago. I think about 10 years ago.
Yeah.
They got a new label and everything, and probably, it was one of those beers that you had to take in your bar if you were not in that bar, and they tried to push it back in the day. Probably all of that is true, but yeah, that I'm pretty sure that never.
Nobody's crying tears.
No, nobody's crying tears. In that way, that it's a bit a shame that Gueuze goes away, but I don't think this was a gateway beer.
No, and I mean, if we're talking
This
about
probably is much-
accessible, both in terms of taste and packaging, then canned Gueuze, for all of its controversy.
Yeah, and also just don't drink AB InBev,
Yeah, exactly.
if not for tax evasion reasons, the reasons we mentioned in the Israel episode. Anyway, the Crick stays around for now, and I was a bit sad about Patrick's reaction on this, though. He said that one is still popular, especially among the ladies. And I was like, oh come on.
Come on.
I really hoped we were beyond gender specifics in beer, but I guess it's a hard monster to kill.
Yeah, exactly.
And, I can't imagine that a lot of women do like this, but I know a lot of men who like this as well, and I know a lot of women who don't. So
Yeah.
we need to get rid of this. It's really makes
It's a
no sense.
generational thing.
But here's the thing, RIP AB InBev Gueuze, maybe for the best.
Yeah.
Let's stay in region of Brussels for the next topic. We also don't have to dive in it too deep. Have you been at CoHop recently?
Not recently, but I did interview one of the co-founders from Janine, which is one of the breweries, last year or the year before. Really interesting project.
Is it on your blog? This
It is, yeah. It was. I did a feature. I used to do that every year. Women in Brussels beer, and I would say it's probably 2023 at this point.
In fact, you might be better in explaining for the people what CoHop
So
is.
CoHop is an interesting experiment, I think, which brought under one roof a certain number. I think it's maybe 5 at this point. We get on to maybe it's 6 now. I'm not sure. Of contract brewers joined together to build their own brewery, where they would all essentially contract brew on their system. So Monday it's X brewery, Tuesday it's Y brewery, Wednesday it's Z brewery. Which, I mean, the logic of that is sound, I think.
It's absolutely sound. It's
You know,
a
split
super
the
good
cost.
idea.
The most expensive thing that you can spend money on as a brewery is equipment. If you can split the costs on that, I think it's great. And I think it's shown in its durability. It's
think
been around
so.
for a while, and it's not been a very positive economic environment.
Not at
So
all.
chapeau to them.
Yes.
The beers are interesting and diverse.
I don't think
It's a
it'll
good location. next to the university at the VUB,
Yep.
which I think helps as well because they get a lot of student people in.
Absolutely.
And they're
I
good at-
noticed that when I was there.
They're good at diversifying their events. They do a lot of stand
The
comedy.
only thing I'm a bit
There's-
worried about is that the buzz around it is very, among beer people, it's low. Like, if I
Yeah.
ask people, have you heard of CoHop? Sometimes people are surprised
Well,
that they haven't heard.
I mean, they do publish. They do produce their own brand of beers. There are CoHop beers, but
Sure.
not that many.
No.
And also, like, sometimes I think, you know, some of these breweries are not for the beer cognoscenti.
No, true.
Do you know what I mean?
That's fine, and that they don't have to be.
Yeah.
So actually, there were 4 at the beginning: Witloof, Drink That Beer, Une Bière de Tartine, and Janine. And now a 5th is added, La Flaque. Let's take you to the press release. 3 Brussels natives, Chico, Felix, and Arthur, another Arthur, are arriving with cosmic energy, strong ideas, and a creative universe that is set to make waves in our fermenters. Born in the flooded depths, dead cellars of Vorst, La Flaque is an uncompromising craft brewery. Bold beers and an underground style, all with a healthy dose of self-mockery. Okay.
Now, I would ignore all of that.
Yes, please, but they need to make a
Yeah, they do.
statements.
What they don't mention is that they've been brewing their beers at Illegal.
Another one. Interesting.
think.
We talked about Ilhal a few podcasts.
They're a really interesting project because if you see a contract brewed beer that says it's from Brussels, apples as onions, it's probably coming from Illegal.
Yes, it's so big. Yeah, we mentioned this with
There's
Leo.
a lot of money gone into it. Embarrassing admission, I haven't been because it's too far away from where I live, and they do like these out there concerts, which is music is not my scene, so I tend to.
I've been a
avoid
few
it.
times.
I don't like loud. I'm going to sound like a man in his 60s. I don't like loud music, and if I do, it has to be music I like. And
Are you in your 60s? Oh,
I don't go to concerts. I know that sounds funny.
Okay.
I don't go to
oh,
concerts.
that's fine. I do. I've been there a few times. It's,
Yeah, is it good?
It's cool. Yeah,
Yeah, I've heard that it's great. Good vibes. The views are
venue
good.
is enormous.
And they take risks. I know we're getting off topic again.
That's fine.
I drank a mate from them once, which I thought was really interesting. I didn't like it, but I thought as something to do, I think go for it. But they've become sort of the go-to contract brewers. So what suggests is that La Flaque have been selling enough beer that they are able to invest in becoming a cooperative member at CoHop, which shows that they're doing something good because it's, I think, hard to make that shift. And it will be interesting to see, as always is, when a brewery goes from contract brewing to brewing themselves, have they got it under control? Because there's a few projects in Brussels, La Flaque being one. I don't know if you know Fugu.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
I don't know where they are in that project, but I interviewed them a while ago. I never published the article about it.
Beer from
They wanted to build their own brewery, but they were cautious too because they're contract brewing elsewhere.
I see.
And when you bring it in-house, Brussels Beer Project went through this and they had the money to be able to do the R&D to make sure that it worked. Do the beers stay the same? Do they get better? Do they get worse? It's a challenge.
Well, we'll see. I mean,
The Flaque are small enough that they can probably ride whatever QC issues they might confront.
yeah, and they will. That's the whole journey of all these breweries, and that's
Yeah, and I'd be
so-
curious
so
to see
understand that.
what the space in the market
Can also go the other way around.
for them
Few
is.
examples of that too. That it starts strong and then just maybe this is all a bit too expensive to brew it this way. And
Yeah, and brewing is hard.
It is
and
hard.
boring. You have
I wouldn't
to.
call it boring.
Well, no, but you have to produce the same recipe every single time, basically the same, unless you're doing something like properly artisanal, like yours. Like people, I think people are less indulgent these days of crappy beers. Yeah.
and they shouldn't. I mean,
Yeah, I know, but we'll have both seen that in Ghent, in
sure,
Ostend, in
absolutely.
Brussels. People were willing to buy beer that was local because it was local and it was different. People are less willing to do that, I think,
True,
which is good, but
and that's absolutely fine.
it's more difficult. So,
So
good
cool.
luck to
I
them.
mean-
Good luck to them.
Yeah, good luck. And I've made a plan of going back to a few of the Brussels breweries I haven't been in a while, preferably still this year. So
Yeah.
definitely gonna come by CoHop soon and try it out. Maybe we should meet up. Yeah. Last main topic of the day before we head the agenda and the question round. It's a short one as well, but one that I assumed more people would talk about because I thought it was going to be a big deal, but apparently nobody really cares. But Untappd launched its own web shop
Mm-hmm.
in Europe, also in Belgium. And the offer is curious to say the least.
Is it?
Yes.
Okay.
It's mostly German.
Yeah, I did
Birds.
see. I did have a cursory glance at the website, and there was a lot of
Some
Spaffels.
French breweries. Now, from Belgium, it's only, and it's gonna start strong and it's gonna go down very
Okay.
quickly. Only Drie Fonteinen.
right.
So we're
Yeah,
starting
They have a lot of beer to sell.
strong. And then Leffe,
Right.
Burn and Crash already, and Schoof. Those are the only 3 breweries represented from Belgium
Yeah.
on the Untappd webshop. The Drie Fonteinen is Speling van Plot, so it is fancy.
Okay. Interesting.
And then the others are Leffe Blonde and Schoof.
Well, that basically would suggest that they're pitching. You would think they're pitching the whales that use Untappd with the Drie Fonteinen, and then just sort of
Yeah.
filling in the rest with whatever slop that they can find for cheap, whatever.
Yeah. As far as I could see, there was no real US or UK craft.
Too expensive.
Yeah, but as far as I know, it's the first time that I did saw breweries technically available in Belgium, like Sakiskes, which is great. It's like a
Okay.
Baltic brewery. Hecco, which I think is a bit of one of those hypey breweries. I think they're from France or
Okay.
Spain, something like that. And a lot of small German breweries that you couldn't find before. So that's kind of exciting. I think
Interesting.
get some good Helles and Pilsners,
Yeah.
which was,
That's really hard to get in Belgium.
it is hard to
right?
get. So that kind of made me a little bit happy. I haven't played an order yet.
Yeah.
And I am spoiled that I have Geers here in Ghent that generally has good beers in that
Yeah.
style. But it was interesting to see those finally being available through online
Yeah.
distribution. Anyway,
You hit a recent Untappd milestone.
I had 5,000, yeah. And how long ago is that? I think a few weeks, even months ago. I'm at 5,020 now. So I just don't check in that many beers.
Yeah.
I'm
not
really-
anymore. No, you've moved
No,
off.
I'm done with it,
Yeah.
really. I also do the Untappd for Dog Brewing Company, and I see all the shit that people post, and I'm at a certain point of like, it doesn't matter anymore. It's just not important.
I use Untappd mainly now as a sort of research tool because with the absence of Rate Beer, which was talking about beer history, was just the most useful online tool. Because if you were ever looking for when did X beer come out,
Absolutely, yeah.
then you just go onto Rate Beer and you're like, okay, when was the first review? When was it released?
Yes.
It's all gone now.
Good luck finding that in Untappd.
Oh my
It's
god,
very
it's
hard.
impossible.
Yes.
Impossible.
You can if you're the brewery itself. You can find when it was added, but
Yeah.
only when you're the brewery itself.
Yeah.
If you're not, it's like you're gonna have to scroll for ages to find the first check-in. It's impossible. Yeah.
And again, referring to what we said before, support your local bottle shops.
Yes, exactly. And
Even if they don't sell,
we've pushed
Eyinger or
in
Spaten
Ghent.
or-
Oh, you're here from Brussels. Which bottle shops are should we
multi-tax,
support?
yeah.
Yes, I've been there many times because our office used to be around the corner.
Yeah.
I haven't been there since, so sorry, multi-tax.
Multi-tax is good. Fermentings is small and good, and also has a greater variety of different kinds of drinks, not just beer. Those are my go-to. I'm sure there are lovely ones on the other side of the canal, but yeah.
Let's move on to the agenda. I don't have that much because we're at the end of the summer. There's a few festivals maybe coming up as well. We're waiting for the first names of Billy's, which haven't been released yet. So that's
Have the tickets gone on sale for that already? They easily sell out.
No, I think so. I'm not sure. So I'm sorry.
We're great.
Regret.
We've done our research.
Yeah, we've done research. I do want to point out a few collabs because September.
Oh, hold on. Sorry. One important point, which may not be for the geeks, but is certainly a big point on the calendar of Belgian beer, is Belgian Beer Weekend,
Of course, yeah.
which is, as we're recording now, next weekend.
Next weekend. Yeah.
Which is nice. I am hopefully going on the Friday if I can escape out of work early and go to the press section, which is always nice. But that is a bit of a crazy weekend. I usually think best to attack it early
Absolutely.
and then get out before all of the tourists start vomiting on you.
Where else? What are you doing for Belgian Beer Weekend?
That's it.
Just started.
That's just-
Okay.
But I know there's Drie Fonteinen have their open days that weekend.
Before we go to one of us, I first want to mention a few things in September as well, because with Doc, we're doing a lot of collabs this month. It's crazy. We're starting next Thursday, the 4th of September, with Fauve from France.
Interesting.
Good brewery. Then it's going to go immediately crazy because the 11th of September with the mighty Pojala from Estonia.
Let me guess. some sort of imperial
Baltic Porter.
bottle. Yeah,
It's possible. Then there's one still to be confirmed on the 18th, so I'm going to leave that for now. But the 25th, our friends of Utrecht op de Kromme Haring are coming back, and we're going to do another tap takeover with that as well.
Nice.
So 3 events in Dock on a Thursday, and guess who's working every time on Thursday behind the bar? It's me. So come say hi.
I will say Kromme Haring, lovely brewery, probably one of my favorites in the Netherlands.
Absolutely.
Their Carnaval Britannomyces that gets hosted there is
Mm-hmm.
probably one of the best, most interesting. I wouldn't even call it a beer festival. Certainly try and seek it out in Utrecht. And I'd be tempted to see if I could get the account at the end of the month.
Come over. And then indeed, Wanderlust released all their names
Yes.
earlier this week. So let's go through it. There are not that many breweries. I think it's only 11,
They keep it.
14
They keep it curated.
which is good, which I prefer, because then you like that's the problem with Billy's. It's a bit too much, but also that's the whole appeal of Billy's.
That's
So you
the
know,
point,
it's so they both have their valid reasons. So 13 or 14 September on Saint-Cat, I assume.
I would assume it's on the Vismat.
Here we go. It's Birrificio War from Italy, Stu Mustov of Poland, Brussels Beer Project, and Dansar, of course, themselves, which they count as 2 breweries on their own festival, but sure, you should. Verseja Musa, I'm sorry if I pronounce that wrong, from Portugal. Fugu from Belgium. Gamma from Denmark. Hoppestraat from Germany. Kaapster from the Netherlands. La Débouche from France, which I really like. Poyala as well, because they're here also for the tap takeover. That's of course connected. It's in the same week. Queer Brewing from England.
Really?
Yep.
Oh,
Coming over. Really good beers.
I have to go now.
Yeah, you're really good
I
beers.
was touch and go, but yeah, I know Lily. I know Lily well.
Make a fantastic Helles. It's unbelievable
Yeah.
how good they are. Anyway.
Oh, that means she might be here.
Seven Islands from Greece, which is all the goofy, funny beers, and they're also really, really lovely people. And Wicklow Wolf from Ireland.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Yes. A bit of inside baseball. They did ask me if I had any. I shouldn't be saying this, but I'll say it. If I had any Irish breweries that I could recommend.
That's funny, because that's a question actually in the next thing. So with that said, let's move on to that. The question round. Do you want to do this in Dutch or do we stay in English?
Kom. We gaan het
In
proberen.
Nederlands
hè.
proberen. Vitas, goede vriend, luisteraar van de show, vraagt: hey, je bent van Ierland. Wat zijn de beste Irish craft beer brouwerijen van het moment? There you go.
Ja, het is een moeilijke vraag, Vitas, want er is weinig export van Ierland naar België.
En dat wil zeggen dat je niet echt mee bent met...
Nee, dat wil zeggen dat ik kan heel veel namen geven, maar je gaat de bieren niet kunnen kopen. Hè.
Oké.
Ja, mijn favoriete mensen zoals Kinnegaar.
Dat is al groot, hè? Die kun je wel vinden.
Kinnegaar, ja, ze zitten in...
In de hopduvel hebben ze...
Ah ja? Oké, goed. Whiplash, Dublin,
Absoluut.
ook een goede brouwerij.
Whiplash kun je zelfs krijgen hier in de Jumbo.
Nee.
Echt waar.
In de Jumbo, ja.
Ja.
Oké, ja, want zij hebben wel export naar Nederland en Frankrijk,
Inderdaad,
dus
ja.
de Jumbo. Er is een hele goede brouwerij en de naam schreef me. De vroeger hoofdbrouwer van Galway Bay heeft zijn een spontaneous fermentatie.
Land and Labor.
Land and Labor, precies. Tom, uitstekend. Hele interessante bieren, heel moeilijk om dat te kopen. Om dat te
Maar
verkopen.
We komen vaak naar België voor bierfestivals.
Ja, dus zoek het als je het ziet, drink het. Ja, dit zijn als namen die ik drink als ik in Ierland ben. Zijn wel de... Trouble. Trouble is een echte goeie. Steven van Trouble.
Kun je niet vinden. Heb ik ook enkel in Engeland.
Nee, maar zij zijn echt wel een lokale Dublin brouwerij. Maar als je naar Dublin gaat, zie je wel vaak Ambush overal. Dat is een hazy IPA. Eigenlijk de eerste hazy IPA die gemaakt was in Ierland in 2017, 2018. Hele interessante brouwerij. Hope, ook een goede Dublin brouwerij. Ik was in Dublin, dus ik...
Mooi, ja.
En Rascals. Zijn echt wel de, qua Dublin brouwerijen die ik vrij goed ken, zijn wel eigenlijk de meest interessant.
Ik ken de Ierse bierscene niet zo goed, maar je hebt al degenen gezegd die ik heb opgeschreven.
Ja, en wie anders?
Ik had nog Brehon.
Brehon, interessant. Ja, Brehon zijn... Ze hebben een reputatie in Ierland als keigoeie stout / porter brouwerij.
Ik vind het fantastisch.
Ik heb Tom en een paar andere mensen gevraagd wat is de beste... Als ik een artikel zou schrijven over stout / porter in Ierland, wie zou ik moeten praten. En ze zei, ja, Braille.
2 jaar geleden, ze hebben een collab gedaan met een Duitse brouwerij. Ik weet niet meer welke brouwerij. Maar toen hadden ze een Christmas Porter uitgebracht.
Ja.
En dat was mijn hoogst gereid bier op Untappd dat jaar.
Weet je wie er interessant is voor België?
Aha.
Mesken. Want
ja.
dat is een
Wat van woord.
Iers-Belgisch brouwerij. Dus de hoofdbrouwer komt uit België. En ze zitten helemaal in het west van het land. Zoals er overal plekken in Nederland zijn. In een klein dorpje aan de kust.
Mooi.
Heel landelijk. En ze maken trippels, blonds. Ze hebben wel ook 1 keer een Geus gemaakt. Geus, dus ja, heel interessant. En ze zijn wel heel goede mensen.
Dankjewel, mooi antwoord. Volgende vraag van Laura, die waarschijnlijk binnenkort ook gast wordt in de podcast.
Okay.
Stel je voor, je mag maar 1 hopvariëteit nog gebruiken voor de rest van je leven. Welke zou je gebruiken? Ben je een hophit?
Nee.
Nee. Moeilijke vraag.
En ook geen hobbybrouwer. Dus
Nee.
er was een moment die ik wel vaak en veel opinies hadden over hoppen. Maar ja, goede vraag.
Moeilijke
Dat zijn
vraag.
gewone saus of zo, ik weet het niet.
Ik heb ook saus.
Van een pils. Ik moet zeggen, mag ik flexen? Mag ik een flex doen? Ik was, voor ik gestopt ben met professioneel schrijver te zijn, ben ik naar Nieuw-Zeeland gegaan. Om een artikel te schrijven over Nieuw-Zeelandse craft beer cultuur.
Oh, ja.
Maar ook de hop regio daar. Dus ik ben naar Nelson geweest. De beurs van Nelson Sauvin. Ik ben naar al die plekken met de namen van hoppen. En er was een hop daar die in ontwikkeling was, die Nectaron.
Nectaron, ja.
Heb je dat geproefd?
Nu heel...
ja. In die tijd was Thales juist uitgebracht. En zij waren een soort...
Ik hou niet van Thales.
Ja, dus Nectaron was deze run aan het positioneren en ik vond dat wel een vrij goeie. Maar
Nectaron is cool, ja.
Ja.
Ik heb ook nog... Ik hou van oldschool hop sowieso. Saus, Engelse
heel
hop.
saai, noble hops.
Maar ik ben altijd een sukker geweest voor Amarillo. En we zien te weinig Amarillo tegenwoordig.
Ja.
Is verdwenen.
Ja.
Brouwers.
Ik moet zeggen, ik vind
Waar is Amarillo?
ook de Nieuw-Zeelandse hoppen ook een goede Nelson Sauvin.
Absoluut. Een vraag die je misschien wel gaat kunnen antwoorden.
Oei.
Pieter vraagt, gastronomie en bier is nog steeds moeilijk. Deze zomer heb ik verschillende restaurants aan de kust bezocht. Ik heb niks ontdekt die de moeite was. Elk menu bestond uit saaie trippels en blondjes. Thank God for Orval.
Ja.
Waar kun je lekker eten en ook goed bier drinken? Liefst aan de kust, maar ook in het algemeen.
Dat is wel een hardnekkige probleem.
Maar wacht,
Ja?
jij hebt een artikel geschreven. Ik
heb wel een artikel geschreven.
Een fantastisch artikel. Als iemand die van de kust is, mijn hart was
vol
van het artikel.
Maar het is altijd moeilijk, hè, want mensen hebben wel meningen. Sterke meningen.
Ik wil eerst kort even vertellen over het artikel die je geschreven hebt.
Dus ik heb de kustram genomen van wat ik dacht het begin was naar het einde, maar eigenlijk heb ik het andersom gedaan. Ik dacht de pan is het begin, knok is het einde, maar uiteindelijk in mijn research was het knok is het begin en de pan
Ja, dat is
is of Aardinkerken. Ja. Dus ik ben van Aardinkerken naar Knokke gegaan met de tram en verschillende uitstapjes gedaan langs de kust. Te praten met mensen die restauranten deden met een goede bierkaart. Mensen die brouwerijen, de geschiedenis van bier in de regio en ook gewoon mijn viewpoint over de kust. Want als Ier is de Belgische kust iets om... Het is niet love at first sight.
Nee, dat begrijp ik.
Ja.
Ik ben er geboren, getogen. Het was ook.
Maar nu, ik moet zeggen, het was grappig, hè, want ik heb het over 2 dagen. In een artikel, als je dat leest, zou je denken aan...
Het voelt alsof je er wel tijd voor genomen hebt. Dus het voelt niet als iets dat je in 1 keer hebt gedaan.
Ik heb het eigenlijk, industry secret, ik heb het 2 keer gedaan.
Ja, oké.
Op en af, heen en weer. Maar er zijn maar een paar goeie. In Oostende is de bottlesje, het soort of klassieke, ik weet niet wat jouw mening is. Nee, dat is wel brasserie, Bistro, ja. Ik heb dat nooit gegeten. Je hebt die bij Sint-Idelspad. Mon Dieu is de naam, dus dat is in Kokzijde wel. 20 minuten buiten Kokzijde. Ja, dat is een hardnekkige probleem in België. Hè. De onderwaardering van bier in gastronomische circles is een probleem. Ik heb ook een artikel specifiek over, het is niet aan de kust, maar Hop Gastrobar in Leuven.
Ja. Dat is degene die ik sowieso als nummer 1 zet op dit moment. Wat waren je ervaring met Hop?
Ja, ik heb er nooit gegeten. Ik
ben er niet geweest.
Ik ben er niet geweest om te gaan eten. Ik heb wel een interview gedaan met de eigenaar. Ik vond dat wel een hele toffe idee.
Wel.
En ik ben naar de kelder geweest, in de bierkelder.
Ongelooflijk, hè?
En dat is heel tof, hè.
Ja.
Goede mensen, ze werken met goede mensen.
Absoluut.
Ze hebben goede connecties. Dus ik waardeer als iemand werkt met iemand die ik vertrouw, dan zou ik zeggen.
Maar Owen, hier staat mijn notities nummer 1, Hop Gastrobar in Leuven.
Ja.
Het is jammer dat het in Leuven is. Sorry, Leuvenaar. Maar het is
Ik heb familie in Leuven,
het
dus...
is zo onderwaardeerd, het is ook niet bekend. Veel mensen hebben er nog nooit van gehoord. Ik ben geweest met mijn familie. Het was subliem. Het eten was grandioos, maar de bierpairing was out of this world. Ze hebben het nog in België niet meegemaakt. Het was fantastisch. Je betaalt ervoor, het is niet goedkoop.
Het is niet goedkoop, maar...
Het is wel fair.
Ja.
Het is wel oké. Ik heb wel een paar aanraders aan de kust. Eerst hebben we al over het botteltje. Ik ga er niks slechts over zeggen, want die hebben hun plek wel wat verdiend op die... Ze zijn zo een instituut in Oostende, maar mij zie je daar niet meer. Ik denk dat je daar alles mee gezegd hebt.
Dus ik ben een weekendje weg in Oostende. Ja. We zijn aan een botteltje voor een drank, want ik ben saai.
Het is een mooie...
Ik heb mijn gewoontes, maar qua bier... Buiten was ik niet zo goed en een restaurant, waar zou ik naartoe gaan?
Ja, in Oostende zijn er 2, denk ik. Het zijn al 2 wel echt gastrobars. De Bristol is denk ik op dit moment de indrukwekkendste. Wat jammer is dat ze... Sorry Bristol, bedoel het niet negatief, maar ze focussen vooral op hun wijn. Het zijn allemaal goede natuurwijn, een beetje dezelfde wijn als dat we hier hebben, ook in de Welkom. Het zijn fantastische wijn. Ja. Hun bierkaart is fantastisch, maar ze lopen er een beetje te weinig mee te koop. En ik denk dat ze dat wat meer mogen doen. Maar ze hebben een hele goede bierkaart. Het helpt ook wel dat er wel redelijk wat van Dok aanwezig is, maar nog daarbuiten weten ze wel waar ze mee bezig zijn. Ja. Dan heb je ook nog Heerlijk, wat dan een bierrestaurant is. Is een beetje braver dan de Bristol qua keuzes van bieren. Het is een beetje traditioneler. Ja. Maar ondanks het feit dat de bierkaart iets gedempter en braver en conventioneler is, zijn hun pairings wel zeer goed. Ja. En dat is uiteindelijk waar het over gaat, denk ik. Dat het belangrijkste is dat de pairings juist zitten. Ik denk dat ze soms een beetje, of dat ze, zeker voor zo, als er dan eens een nerd binnen droppelt, af en toe wel misschien iets uit de kelder mogen halen. Dat zit er zo nog niet echt in. Maar oké, dat is ook niet echt altijd nodig. Ja. It's fine. Ja. Voor de rest in de kust, geen idee.
Ik moet zeggen, qua brouwerijen en qua restauranten aan de kust, dat was niet eenvoudig, hè?
Nee, dat is niet eenvoudig.
Om mensen te vinden, om mee te praten. Dus daarom de oude bekende, botteltje.
Nog één extraatje dat ik misschien wil meegeven als je dan toch nog in Oostende bent. Het is geen restaurant, het is zelfs geen café, maar het is een winkeltje met allemaal streekproducten. Het is de schilderen streekproducten.
Okay.
Het is in de nieuwe deel, de Oostroever. Dus het is echt, je moet de ferry pakken, een kleine bootje pakken om naar de Nopex te gaan, eigenlijk waar de vuurtoren, waar de vuurtoren is.
Ja, problematische vuurtoren eigenlijk.
Je kan er wel iets eten, je kan er wel iets drinken, maar dat zijn enkel de hapjes. Maar fantastische lokale producten, ook lokale slagerij, lokale kaasmaker, alles erop en eraan. En alle brouwerijen van de buurt zijn vertegenwoordigd, maar je kan er ook gewoon een goede fles Drie Fonteinen en zo vinden, of een Cantillon en zo. Dus het is zo van Oostende een kleine verborgen parel die ik graag meegeef met de mensen.
Maar als je wilt goed drinken met jouw eten, moet je naar Brussel komen.
Ja. Kun je er een paar pluggen van Brussel?
La Fruitière is de eerste, als je van kaas houdt. Dat is een kaasraffinerij. Goede bier en ook wijnselectie. Klok, waar vroeger een pizzeria van Cantillon en Moeder Lambic. Ook goede bieren. Night Shop.
Ja.
Ietske waar, chique...
Niet ver van BBP, hè? Zo'n beetje.
Ja, ik zit om de hoek.
Ja.
Een parallele straat.
Allee, dat is daar dan, hè?
Dansaert, ja, dus Dansaert vibe. Als je Brussel kent. Le Petit Oignon is een beetje verder buiten de stad. Maar in het algemeen, qua bierniveau in restauranten, is dat wel omhoog gegaan. Hè.
In Brussel, ja.
De laatste 10 jaar zeker. En nog zekerder sinds ik in Brussel ben komen wonen in 2009. Ja, en Le Budgetine is een soort van de klassiek en nooit niet genoeg. Ja.
In Gent vind ik het ook moeilijk hoor.
Ja?
Zijn er. Ze zijn ook vaak meestal met wijn bezig. Denk aan publiek en zelfs ook.
Ja, ze gaan liever voor natuurwijn in plaats van
Maar goede bieren ook hoor, ze hebben goede bieren ook.
Ja.
Ik denk nog aan zowel Raaf als Mortier hebben ook wel nog goede bieren, maar dat is niet degene waarin dat ze het meest op inzetten.
Ja.
Het hek elders, waar ik juist om de hoek woon, vlakbij de Hoppestraat, heb je elders op het Van Beverenplein en een paar hele mooie, zelfs wild ales van Brouwerijen, dat ik nog nooit eerder van gehoord had zelfs. Echt merkwaardig en goede dingen geproefd. Maar ik denk dat je eigenlijk in Gent beter naar de iets eenvoudigere dingen gaat. Dan denk ik aan de buffel, denk ik aan de kleine kunst, / de kunst hier in de straat ook, waar dat welkom zit. Daar ga je denk ik wel goede bieren drinken met goed eten. En dan kun je nog klassiek gaan, naar de Motatouli en de stokerij die wel ook op pairings inzet. Ik ga er sowieso vergeten zijn, mijn excuses Gent. Er waarschijnlijk zijn mensen nu dingen aan het roepen. Waarom heb je dat nu niet gezegd? Maar alles is natuurlijk context en zo. We zijn zo ongeveer rond met deze negende podcast.
Heb jij nog vragen voor mij?
Ik heb zeker nog vragen. Ik stel voor dat we een drinken aan de bar en dan wat dieper in elkaars leven. Nee, we zien wel wat er nog van komt. De volgende aflevering zal misschien opgenomen worden in Stockholm. We zullen zien of we er tijd voor vinden. Want...
Heb je al plekken gestart? Dat is geen woord, maar in jouw Google Maps.
We gaan met locals. Dus ik zei een vriend van mij die eigenlijk dezelfde job deed als ik hiervoor. En zo hebben we elkaar ooit leren kennen op een beurs in Amsterdam. Ja. Maar hij is ook een gigantische biernerd. Hij heeft 3 keer zoveel check-ins op Untappd, om maar even te zeggen. Kent de hele bierscene van Stockholm, kent iedereen. Hij heeft al van alles voorbereid, maar Karen gaat ook mee. Dus er moet ook wel een beetje natuur en een beetje museums en zo. Dus het wordt een beetje een leuke mix, denk ik.
Ja. Heb je een lening aangevraagd om al die bieren te
betalen? Wel, het fijne natuurlijk is dat we geen overnachting moeten betalen. We blijven slapen bij vrienden, dat gaat al helpen. Ja. En voor de rest, we gaan vooral proberen de brouwerskaart te trekken. Ik ga zelf wat dingen meepakken en zo proberen vriendschappen te... We zien wel, maar het komt wel goed. Owen, dankjewel.
Bedankt u.
Je zien komt uit. Zijn er nog dingen die je wil pluggen of dingen die...
De meest recente biergerichte ding die ik heb geschreven is een artikel voor Pellicle. Dus als mensen dat niet kennen, dat is een Engelse bierwebsite over bier en voetbal in Dublin. En de connecties daartussen.
Prachtig.
Echt ongelooflijk. Boeiend verhaal.
Maar ook op Brussels Beer City te vinden? Of,
Nee. Alleen op... van Brussels Beer City, de laatste die ik heb gepubliceerd, was een stuk uit een stuk die ik heb geschreven voor Belgian Smaak. Over Le Mule, Brussels Le Mules. De oorsprong van de brouwerij en wat ze maken en de idee achter. Maar ik begin altijd in september met goede moed. Het verdwijnt snel. Ja. Dus ik heb hopelijk nog wat podcastafleveringen te doen. En we gaan zien in het begin van 2026 wat we gaan doen. Het laatste jaar voor de 10 jaar anniversary van het blog. Maar je kunt ook, ik heb Brussels Notes, dus het gaat niet altijd over bier, vaak niet, maar het is een nieuwsbrief die ik doe op Substack. Je kunt dat wel gemakkelijk vinden.
Fantastisch. Dankjewel Owen, tot de volgende. Mensen, blijf het goede bier drinken. Tot binnenkort. Yo. Tot.